Hello students, today we are to see information regarding organic chemistry experiment, that is identification of organic compounds. So here we have to see the information or fundamentals of identification of organic compound. So what is organic chemistry and organic compounds? So we have seen the different types of organic compounds in IUPAC nomenclature of organic compounds. Now what is organic chemistry? It is the chemistry of compounds of carbon and its derivatives. So organic compounds are the compounds of carbon. Along with carbon, it may contain hydrogens, oxygen. So if only carbon and hydrogen is there, we call them as a hydrocarbons. But along with hydrogen, compounds may contain oxygen. So here these are the various types of organic compounds. Which organic compounds are classified in different functional groups. So what are the functional groups of organic compounds? So these are the specific groupings of atoms present in a molecule, and these are responsible for characteristic properties of the compounds. So basically they are having characteristic chemical reactions. So on the basis of that, organic compounds are classified in different functional groups such as carboxylic acids, esters, anhydrides, amides, amines, alcohols, then carbonyl compounds, aldehydes and ketones, nitriles. So there are a number of functional groups are there in the organic compounds. All these organic compounds are categorized in 4 chemical types such as acid, phenol, base and neutral. So these are the 4 types, chemical types, in which all the organic compounds are classified. So before that, in the identification of organic compound, these are the very important steps are involved. So such as preliminary test, then solubility test, detection of type of the compound, next element detection, that is Lassagn's test, then next functional group detection, so which functional group present there, and last is physical constant and confirmatory test of the organic compound. So by using these 6 important steps, we can identify structure and name of organic compound. So these are the important steps in the identification of any organic compound. So first in the preliminary test, if you see the preliminary test, from this preliminary test we will get primary information or the some general or basic information about the organic compound, such as nature. Nature means whether it is solid or liquid, then color, then odor, next flame test, next chemophore test, that is unsaturation test. So these are the some important preliminary test we can perform during the identification in the preliminary test. So nature can be solid, organic compounds can be solid, it can be liquid. Color of the organic compound, it can be white in color. Some of the organic liquids are colorless. Some of the compounds are blackish in nature. Some are yellow in color. So yellowish compounds may be nitrobenzene, it can be amines. So blackish can be here alpha naphthol. So depends on the color, we can have the different types of or different names of the organic compounds. So in the odor means smell of the organic compound. So odor is also there are the different odors are there for the organic compounds. So such as sweet pleasant smell. This is the sweet pleasant smell given by the esters, alcohol or halogenated organic compounds. Then next bitter taste. So bitter taste is basically found in case of nitrobenzene or the benzaldehyde. Then we can have the fishy smell by the amines, carbolic smell, it is the particular smell by the phenols. In this way we have the odor. Then next flame test. So in the flame test, we have to take the compound on the porcelain piece, we have to burn this on the flame. When we get sooty flame, that is blackish kind of flame we observe when the compound burns on the flame. So it concludes that the compound contain more percentage or more proportion of carbon while less proportion of hydrogen. So this is basically found in case of aromatic compounds. So when we observe Sputti flame, then we can say that aromatic compound can be present there. So it compound is aromatic. If we have non-sooty flame, then compound may be aliphatic. So here we get sooty flame because of the more percentage or more proportion of carbon while less proportion of hydrogen. But here non-sooty flame we can found in case of aliphatic compounds. Now the next test we are performing for the detection of unsaturation, that is KMnO4 test. So we have to take a compound in which we have to add potassium permanganate solution. So in the KMnO4 test, we have to take some compound, we have to add some water in that, then we have to add dilute KMnO4 solution. So KMnO4 solution is having pink color. So when the compound is unsaturated, then KMnO4 get added across the unsaturation. So KMnO4 get consumed and KMnO4's color, that is pink color, get disappeared. So it is called as decolorization. When we have decolorization, then we can say that unsaturated compound is there, or easily oxidizable compound, or compound can be easily oxidizable with the help of oxidizing reagent, that is KMnO4. Means the KMnO4's color, that is pink color, when disappeared, then due to the presence of unsaturation, this KMnO4 get consumed or KMnO4 added across the multiple bond, and it can give here oxygenated product, that is 1,2-diol, or if it undergoes oxidation, then we can get the oxidized product. So the KMnO4's color get disappeared. So this is called as decolorization. If there is no decolorization, so the color of the KMnO4 remains same. So the compound is saturated. So in this way, these are the some primary or preliminary observations we can perform during the preliminary test. Next very important step is solubility test. In the solubility, so solubility test is we have to perform by using water. So when we are adding water to this, so some of the compounds are water soluble and some of the compounds are water insoluble. So we have to check its solubility in water. So compounds can be soluble or it can be insoluble. So when the compound is soluble in water, we have to determine its type by using water soluble methods. While if the compound is water insoluble, then we have to detect its chemical type by using different chemical reagents. So here we have to see first solubility, then we have to see the detection of type. When the compound is water soluble, if compound is water soluble, then first of all we have to add some water to the compound, then we have to use that aqueous solution for the detection of type. So we have to add here the solution plus we have to add here sodium bicarbonate. When we get strong effervescence due to the loss of or due to the evolution of carbon dioxide, then we can say acid may present. If not, then we can add here alcoholic ferric chloride solution. Then we may have the blue to violet color. Then we can say phenol may present, water soluble phenol may present. Or we may have the litmus paper. So we can take here blue litmus paper. When we put this blue litmus paper in this solution, then this blue litmus paper turns red. Then we can say it can be acid or phenol. But if we get effervescence by adding sodium bicarbonate, then it is acid. If no effervescence obtained after addition of sodium bicarbonate, it can be phenol. So in this way, this is the red litmus paper, blue litmus paper turns to red. It can be acid or phenol. And here, when we get effervescence by adding sodium bicarbonate, it is acid. If not, then it is phenol. If we have to check whether it is base or not, then we have to take here red litmus paper. When the red litmus paper turns blue, then the compound is water soluble base. So water soluble base is present there. if we observe no change in litmus paper, if we found there is no positive test here, so there is no change in both litmus paper, red as well as blue, then it is neutral. So the compound is belongs to neutral. So as we have discussed, types of organic compounds are classified in 4 categories such as acid, phenol, base and neutral. So these are the 4 type categories: acid, phenol, base and neutral. So these are the 4 types, chemical types of the organic compounds. So in the acids, all the carboxylic acids are included. In the phenol, all the aromatic hydroxy compounds are included. In the bases, all the amines, it may be primary amine, secondary amine or tertiary amines, all the amines are there in the bases. So all the amines are the organic bases, such as primary amines are NH2 or aromatic amines are ARNH2, or it is, these are the primary. It can have the substitution at nitrogen, so it can be secondary, it can be tertiary. So aromatic amines or alkane amines are the organic bases, and rest all the compounds are categorized in neutral category. So in the neutral category, which compounds are included? So it includes esters, alcohols, haloalkanes, then the carbonyl compounds such as aldehydes, ketones, amides, so aldehydes. So these are the compounds which are included in the neutral category, means the compounds which are not belongs to acid, phenol or base, then all those compounds are included in neutral category. So the compounds which are not included in acid, phenol, base, all those compounds are classified or categorized in neutral category. So these compounds having chemical type neutral. So in this way, here we have to see the type detection by using reagent, that is chemical reagents. So here we have seen the type detection of water soluble compounds. Now we have to see type detection of water insoluble compounds, the compounds which are insoluble in water. Here we have to see type detection of water insoluble compound. For acid, first is we have to check whether the compound is having type acid or not. So to check acid, we have to first take the compound, and to this compound we have to add saturated NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, saturated sodium bicarbonate. Then we get strong effervescence. So when we get strong effervescence, so this is strong effervescence we obtain due to the evolution of CO2 gas. So CO2 gas get evolved. So we can see here acid may present, acid may present. So to confirm acid, whether it must be acid or not, so to this we have to add concentrated drop of concentrated HCl. When we get precipitate, that is acid is regenerated. So here in the step 1, salt of acid get formed. So here we get sodium carboxylate, and this sodium carboxylate decompose by adding concentrated HCl. When we get precipitate, then it confirms that acid must be there. So acid confirm. So acid is confirmed. Now how this acid reaction is taking place? In case of carboxylic acid, RCOOH is there. It reacts with sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3. So when this sodium bicarbonate reacts with carboxylic acid, this is weak base. Sodium bicarbonate is weak base. Here this is acid. So acid reacts with base, gives salt. So here we get salt is RCOONA, sodium salt of carboxylic acid with the loss of CO2 gas and H2O. So this is saturated sodium bicarbonate. So once we get salt, so this is sodium carboxylate, this is salt, and all the salts are water soluble. So these are water soluble. So it dissolves in the water and effervescence of carbon dioxide we get. Now in the second step, here we can decompose this salt by adding HCl. When we are adding here HCl, what happen? This is salt of acid. So we have to decompose or we have to break the salt of acid by adding strong acid. So HCl is strong acid. So when we are adding HCl here, then this RCOOH releases freely from this mixture. So it is water insoluble. This carboxylic acid is water insoluble, hence we get its precipitate plus NaCl, and this NaCl dissolves in that water. So here this is the precipitate, means it gets separate out from the aqueous solution after adding HCl, because salt get decomposed and this water insoluble substance get released from that solution. So here this is the precipitate obtained, indicates carboxylic acid is regenerated, it reprecipitated, hence here the acid is confirmed. Now in the next step for the phenol, as phenols are also acidic in nature but they are weakly acidic. So phenols are AROH, these are the aromatic hydroxy compounds. So to check phenol, we have to add strong base such as sodium hydroxide. So we have to add here substance plus NaOH solution, sodium hydroxide solution. When the sodium hydroxide solution added to phenol, when it is phenol, then it dissolves in the sodium hydroxide. So here we get substance dissolves. When the substance dissolves, we can say phenol may present. How we can confirm this phenol? When this solution we are adding again drop of concentrated HCl, then here we get precipitate. So we get precipitate. Once we get precipitate, then phenol is regenerated. Because phenol is acidic in nature, we are adding here HCl, so this salt get decomposed by adding HCl. HCl is strong acid. After addition of strong acid, the salt get decomposed and here we get precipitate. So phenol confirmed. So once phenol confirmed, we can say phenol is there. So we have to see here the reaction of phenol with this sodium hydroxide. When we have AROH, that is phenol, reacts with sodium hydroxide NaOH. So this OH minus ion takes this acidic proton and here this electron density goes to oxygen and it combines with sodium. So we get here ARONA. So this is sodium phenoxide plus H2, and here this is aqueous solution of sodium hydroxide. So in that aqueous layer, this salt get decomposed. Salts are highly polar, the salts are water soluble. So in this, when we are adding HCl, the salt get decomposed and we get AROH. So this is water insoluble compound, hence we get it as a precipitate. So precipitate obtained means, so it get separate out from this aqueous solution plus NaCl, and this goes in water, it is water soluble, so it remain as a precipitate. So we can say once we get precipitate after adding HCl to this aqueous solution, phenol is confirmed. If not, if we get both the negative test, acid is absent, phenol is absent, then we have to check whether it is base or not. So to check base, we have to add here acid. So substance plus we have to add here 1:1 HCl. So 1:1 HCl means 50% concentrated HCl. So equimolar mixture of water and concentrated HCl is called as 1:1 HCl. So when we are adding 1:1 HCl to this, so if base is there, it dissolves. So bases are dissolved in 1:1 HCl. Because this is acid, bases are amines, they forms hydrochlorides. So we can say that base may present. But to this solution, when we have to confirm this by adding NaOH. So NaOH is strong base. So we have to check whether it is base or not. Then to this salt, we have to add here strong base NaOH. So this we get precipitate. So once we get precipitate obtained. So it indicates base releases freely from this aqueous solution, so it is regenerated, precipitate obtained. So base is confirmed. So once base is confirmed, we can say that base is present. Now how we can take the test of base? So here for the base, bases are generally amines. Suppose it is ArNH2, aromatic amine. We are adding here HCl. Here it is 1:1 HCl. So it is 50% concentrated HCl. So in that we are adding here, when this HCl to this, we get here ArNH3 plus Cl minus. So here this is hydrochloride of this base. So this is salt, and salts are, this is hydrochloride, ammonium hydrochloride. These are water soluble. So when we are adding HCl to the substance and it get dissolves in that, so we can say that this is base, and this salt can be decomposed by adding NaOH. So here when we add NaOH, OH takes this proton. So we get here this ArNH2 free OH, so that is H2O plus this NaCl. So these are soluble, this is insoluble. So we get insoluble means we get its precipitate. So it precipitate out from this solution. So we can say that base is confirmed. So here base is confirmed. Here there is phenol, here there is a acid. So in this way we can check here acid by adding sodium bicarbonate. We can check here phenol by adding sodium hydroxide. We can check base by adding HCl. So these are the different chemicals we can use to detect type of the organic compound. So these are the different chemicals. So water insoluble compounds are detected by using chemical method, sodium bicarbonate, NaOH and 1:1 HCl. If we get negative test, all these three tests we found negative. So here acid, phenol and base all are absent. Then the compound belongs to neutral category. So the neutral compound is present. So it concludes that the compound used is neutral. So we have to check acid by using this test, sodium bicarbonate. We get strong effervescence, carbon dioxide get released, and by and the salt is water soluble. We can decompose this salt by using HCl. So we get free acid, that is precipitate obtained. So here in this sodium hydroxide, when we add sodium hydroxide to phenol, it get dissolves and we can reprecipitate it by adding HCl. So once we get precipitate, phenol is confirmed. When the base is there, bases are amines. It can be aromatic amines, it can be aliphatic amines. So here the amines are water, amines are dissolved in HCl, forms hydrochlorides, and the hydrochloride salt is water soluble. We can add NaOH to decompose that salt and we get free amine. So precipitate obtained indicates base. If we got all these three tests negative, then the compound is neutral. So which are the compounds belongs to neutral category? Carbonyl compounds, carbohydrates, then esters, alcohol, amide. So these are the compounds which are belongs to neutral category. So these compounds are not reacted with sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydroxide and 1:1 HCl. So we are categorize all those compounds in neutral category. So here we have discussed about detection of type. Now the next is element detection, or it is called as Lasagne's test. So in the element detection, we have to detect the elements which are other than carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, whether the compound contain nitrogen, sulfur or halogens. So these are the elements are present in the organic compounds along with carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. We have to check whether it contain nitrogen, sulfur or halogens. For this we have to determine or detect elements using Lasagne's test. In this element detection we have to use sodium metal, and for the different elements nitrogen, sulfur and halogen we have to perform different tests. So the element detection is very important part in the identification of organic compound. So for that purpose we have to take sodium metal. So we have to prepare for sodium fusion extract, and that extract we have to use for the detection of nitrogen, sulfur and halogen. For the detection of nitrogen, we have to use freshly prepared ferrous sulfate solution. Then for the sulfur, we can use here sodium nitroprusside solution, and for the halogens, we have to use silver nitrate solution. So in this way, we can get here this test of the detection of elements for the nitrogen, sulfur and halogen. If we get here nitrogen, then we have to check the functional group of the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen compounds on the basis of type present in it. So if we are having carbon, hydrogen and oxygen along with nitrogen and the type is acid, then we have to check its functional group by using the elements and the type CHON acid. So on the basis of the elements present in the compound, we can determine the functional group. So here there are the different functional groups are there in the organic compounds as we have discussed earlier. So these functional groups are determined in this functional group detection step. So here we get functional group from the elements as well as from the type of the compound. Once we get functional group, so the last part is physical constant. In case of liquids, we have to determine boiling point. In case of solids, we have to check its melting point. So hold the discussion, hold the information of the test and the details we will share in the laboratory manual. So we will upload laboratory manual. We will send you laboratory manual in which you will get different tests and the whole the procedure for the performing identification of organic compound. Now here once we get functional group, physical constant we have determined here, liquids boiling point and solids melting point. Once we get the physical constant and whole this information, functional group, elements, all these things, then by using confirmatory test. So here the last step is confirmatory test. So here we can get the name and structure of the compound. So finally we will get name of the compound and structure of the compound. So in this way organic compounds are identified by using these steps. Preliminary test, primary observations we can make here. Solubility test, whether it is water soluble or insoluble. If it is water soluble, then we have to determine its type by using water soluble method. If it is water insoluble, we have to determine its type by using different chemical reagents. So the next is element detection. We have to determine whether it contains nitrogen, sulfur and halogens along with carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So here in the Lasignitz test, in the sodium fusion test, we can get the elements nitrogen, sulfur and halogen. Then we have to see the functional group. We have to determine functional groups on the basis of elements and type of that organic compound. So the last is physical constant and confirmatory test. From this physical constant and confirmatory test, we can determine the structure and name of the compound. So this is the final identification we can done from the physical constant and confirmatory test. In this way, this is the basic information regarding identification of organic compound. Thank you.